And welcome to the This and That Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Daz, and it's episode 5, by the way, which I should have mentioned straight away. And with me, obviously, is my good mate of mine, Mr. Marky Sparky. How are you, mate?
I am well, Daz. I am well. How are you, sir?
I'm well, mate. Are you excited or what, mate? This is a big one. This is a big
I'm
episode.
not excited. Not excited at all.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we should just
All right.
hang
Good
up.
night. See you later.
See ya. Bye. All right. See you, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And
We'll see you next month.
see you next month. Yeah, so it's about E3 this episode, and we thought we'll have a guest join us today. Good friend of ours, Mr. Dave Muscat. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. How are you going?
Good, good. You been playing the Amstrad lately, or what, mate?
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
actually.
Did-
Yeah, I've been on a more recent game than the Amstrad titles.
Yeah, I must have missed Alan Sugar's presentation at E3 this year 'cause I couldn't find it.
He was too busy being on The Apprentice, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, good old Sugar, the Sugar Man. Nah, great to have you on, dude.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all about E3 this episode, and I think the perfect person to kick this actual episode off is Mr. Marky Sparky. What's going on?
Cool. Alrighty. Let's before we jump into E3 though, little thing that we like to do every episode is what is everyone playing at the moment?
No, we don't. Who said that?
All right, guys. We'll see you next month. So you threw me off, you
I
bastard.
know, I know.
Yeah.
What's
so
everyone
we'll
playing?
sing-
What's everyone playing?
We'll put our guest of honor on the spot. So Dave, what's been consuming your time besides the Amstrad?
Beside the Amstrad, pretty much Prey on the PS4, which is a couple of years old now. But I've been heavily playing that, and I just finished it yesterday, actually. It's a game that I wasn't sure if I was going to like or not, and I know Darren had tried it previously and wasn't too interested in it, but it was right up my alley. It's very much like System Shock and System Shock 2 of yesteryear, and yeah, it's great. So finished it, got a reasonably good ending as well, so I was quite pleased with that. For people who don't know what Prey is, it's essentially a RPG first-person shooter. You're on a sort of space station, shit's gone wrong, and basically you've got to try to sort out what's going on. I won't give away much more than that because the story actually has quite a few good twists and turns in it. But the gameplay is pretty good. The combat is reasonable. There's a few different avenues you can take from going down and using psi powers, which are kind of like magical type powers, or you can go straight up, guns. They've got a couple of unique guns like this glue cannon, which basically shoots blobs of glue that expand when they hit a surface. And you can use those to climb up walls. You can also use it to immobilize enemies as well. So it's got quite a few good uses in the game, and it's actually quite a good gun. And there's another gun that sort of stuns people and that sort of thing. So great game, quite big. I think I played for about 30 hours.
Oh, wow.
Did sort of a reasonable amount of the side quests in the game. So that's been chewing up a lot of my time. Before that, I was playing a bit of Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. Titan Quest, obviously, an old game from 2006, which they sort of surprised everyone and did a remaster in 2016. And then they had an expansion a year later, which was Titan Quest Ragnarok in 2017. And then they released another expansion called Atlantis. So I was playing that, and that's really just a Diablo sort of hack and slash type clone. It's pretty good. And the guys from that went on to make Grim Dawn, which was another hack and slash, which is quite popular as well.
That looks cool. Looks like Diablo.
Yeah, yeah. The main sort of positive of that game is the dual class system. So at level 2, you choose your first class, and then at level 8, you can choose another class, and the synergies between the classes end up making a big difference in terms of how powerful your character will be later on. And surprisingly, the majority of the classes work really well together. So you can sort of choose whatever you like, and you'll be able to make a reasonable character out of it. Probably the main drawback is the levels are really long. And I think by the end of sort of Act 3, I was getting a bit tired of, wandering around the forest, where I felt sort of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 were a little bit more to the point.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Well,
Yeah,
what'd you play that on?
PC.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
so
on.
both of
It's on everything.
It is on everything. I think it's even on Game Pass now. So you can give it a try without paying much money at all.
Okay, let's. I might give that a go. That looks pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah. At least someone here finishes games, Mark.
I know, right? Oh, there you go, Dave playing RPGs. I'm shocked and appalled.
I know.
Never would have picked that. Nice. Daz, what's been taking up your time?
Funny enough, not playing that much games. Just I've been updating my launch box again. It's funny. I keep adding and adding and adding. I finally got Sega CD working.
The never-ending void, right?
It just doesn't stop. I've got 3DO working on it now. Wow, that's a really bad system. It's actually a really bad system, man. I tried to find so many good games on it. Road Rash is great. I'll give you Road Rash is quite good on it. Street Fighter is absolutely amazing on it. Really, really good. It's actually one that I would actually be more than happy to play again. It's so good on that. But everything else, it's a poor man's PlayStation, even though it was worth more.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But yeah, no, I've been playing games for the Arcade Perfect podcast. We did Moon Patrol, so I played a lot of Moon Patrol. And yeah, screwed around with emulators on my 3DS and Vita. I've got the Amiga working on the Vita, which emulates really well. I've got the Atari 8-bit working on the 3DS, and the C64, absolutely amazing on the 3DS. It uses the new 3DS, actually. It uses the extra processing power. So, they've made an emulator for the actual new 3DS, which is pretty kind of cool, actually. And games run perfect. They run really well. So I've got the C64 in my pocket now. Well, what else could I ask for?
Bonza.
Yeah, Bonza. Recently, like I say, Mark and we both got Guilty Gear. I was playing that for a little bit on the Switch. And Nightmare Boy, which Mr. Matt Corley bought a while back. And I thought, this looks really good. It looks like a Metrovania game. So I bought it. It was cheap. It was only like a $30 game for a collector's edition. Man, it's shit. It's really bad.
So he's on a roll for recommending really shit games to you, isn't he?
Yeah, look,
Shaq Fu and this now.
Oh, Shaq Fu. Look, he in his defence, he didn't recommend this one. He just bought it, and I said, man, this is shit. And yeah, I don't think he's even played it yet. I think he's still on his shelf, so he probably wouldn't know what it's like. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was. Look, I might give it another go. I've got no choice. Might give it another. I might give it another go. But yeah, it's like one of those $2, $3 Steam games.
Okay.
It just feels like that, and yeah. But besides that, yeah, just playing the Switch as usual, that kind of thing. But yeah. But like I said, most of the time is launch box. Like an idiot. Waiting to compile.
Configuring it, but never playing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, and sorry, Xbox Game Pass, which we should elaborate later.
Yeah. Nice. Cool.
And David did recommend me one more game. I know, sorry. What was that one again? I can't remember what it's called. Openia? What was that RPG you recommended me?
Operencia.
Operencia, yeah. I started playing that, and I haven't gotten back to it, though, but man, it's fun. I haven't enjoyed it. Haven't enjoyed a RPG in a long time, and it's easy.
Yeah,
easy.
Graphics are great too.
It's really, really pretty game. Yeah. So,
nice.
Sorry, Mark. All right, go for it, mate.
No, good. No, all good, mate. All good. Yeah, I'm kind of like you. Actually, I'm kind of in between games at the moment. been playing Monster Hunter, of course, off and on, and yeah, a bit of Overwatch here and there as well. But yeah, I'm waiting for Iceborne, the expansion for Monster Hunter, but that's not out until September, so I'm just trying to kill time at the moment. But looking forward to Crash Racing this Friday coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Got my notification that my copy's shipped via Amazon, so that's cool. And yeah, like there was that. Oh, Bloodstain is supposed to hopefully arrive sometime this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll see though. By
Yeah.
holding my breath. Yeah, and I'm also kind of keen to check out Judgment next week, which is by the same guys that did Yakuza on
Okay.
PS4 and on PC. So yeah, I'm just kind of like not playing a whole lot at the moment. Just like I said, if I'm insanely bored, I'll fire up Monster Hunter here and there. But yeah, for the time being, just kind of killing time. But there's a lot to come. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Which version Crash did you get?
And I'm going for the PS4 because I think there was going to be some exclusive skins or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So I said I may as well just go for that one. I'll probably end up getting it on the Switch as well, though, because I think that's going to be a good game to have portable. I know
Yeah.
I'm stupid enough to buy games twice or three times or whatever. So yeah, but I'm with the Switch. I always like to kind of wait and see with that one. Just see if it's going to be out. But if it can handle Mario Kart, I'm sure it's going to be able to handle Crash.
Yeah.
So it's fine. So.
I reckon the place to go is Digital Foundry. They're the ones that
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, look, fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed that it turns out well. I'm sure it will, but we'll see. Cool. All right, that's what everyone's playing. So let's move on to the main topic for this month's podcast. So we've just come out of the madness that is E3. Wasn't sure what we were going to expect this year, especially with the news that Sony wasn't going to be there. They made the call that they really had nothing to show this year except for the same kind of lot of games like Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima. I can't even remember what else they've got brewing. So they decided that we don't have anything to show, so we're not going to do a conference this year, which left a lot of people surprised because they thought we might get some PS5 announcements, but they've said no, they're not quite ready to show that off. So wasn't sure what we were going to get, but I think we ended up actually with a pretty great E3 all round.
yeah.
But what we'll do is we're going to go through all the different conferences, I guess. Just share some quick thoughts, and then yeah, we'll see what everyone thought and what everyone's highlights and disappointments and all that kind of stuff was. So what we'll do though to kick things off now, Dave, I'm going to hand this one over to you because I think you were probably the only one that really kind of tuned into the Stadia conference, and see if you can give us a bit of a lowdown on what they announced and why a lot of people are up in arms from what I've read.
I actually didn't tune into the Stadia.
So
I
I've
had
thrown you under the
zero
bus.
interest in it. I think after hearing the reports of sort of how much it was going to cost and how it was going to work, my opinion is unless they drop the price, it's going to be a bit of a dud.
So,
what are your thoughts around that?
So some games are full price even though they're just digital. Is that how it is?
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
insane.
Mm.
So the main thing that that we got out of the well, from what I've read anyway, like I said, I didn't watch it. I've got very little interest in the Stadia, but it's going to have a subscription cost of, I think it was $10 US from memory. Plus, you have to buy the games on top of that. So that's the bizarre thing. Whereas with something like Netflix, Netflix, you pay your
Subscription.
your $10, your $10, your $12 every month, and you get your catalogue. With Stadia, that's not the case. You still need to buy the games on top of that.
It's gonna fall flat on its ass.
Yeah, a lot of people are understandably up in arms, trying to figure out what is it that you're paying for with the subscription. Obviously, you're paying for the streaming service.
And I think they said they were going to include some games for free as part of the service. But what the quality of those games will be like is really, no one's got any idea at this stage. So
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We don't know, what type of games we'll get as freebies. Publishers, though, seem to be on board.
yep.
I saw Mortal Kombat, which is interesting in on itself, was announced to coming to Stadia. Now, if anyone that follows fighting games knows that if you want a fighting game to be successful, input delay, lag, and all that kind of stuff has to be as low as possible. So how that's going to work on a streaming service, I don't know, but we'll see. Jury's out. I think what else got confirmed? I think it's the usual Assassin's Creeds and the like.
Yeah, Borderlands 3 was another one that's meant to be coming. Again, that's quite a Twitch shooter.
Wolfenstein Youngblood, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoints, Doom Eternal, Borderlands 3, Samurai Showdown, Just Dance 2020, Marvel Avengers. Yeah, why? I don't get it. Why would you even bother?
Probably one of the other issues is that the bandwidth needed to get, I guess, a good quality image is going to be a challenge for quite a few people unless you've got a good quality internet connection. And the Americans were sort of up in arms because a lot of them still have data caps on their internet, and they're like, well, if I'm streaming it in 4K 60 FPS, I'm going to burn through my 1 terabyte limit, in probably a few days of sitting. So it may not be that drastic, but obviously it's going to contribute significantly to their data usage, whereas something like Netflix is quite optimized now.
Yeah.
So that was another factor that sort of came up in the discussions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on it. I think it's going to be it'll be good for somebody that travels a lot. But even then, why would you want Stadia when you could get a laptop with Steam? I don't know.
Or a Switch, jeez.
Yeah.
Really?
It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Again, though, like we said on the last episode where we spoke about the Stadia, if anyone's going to make it work, it's going to be Google. So, yeah, you can't discount somebody like Google out, but we'll see. All right. Anyway, that's enough of Stadia. We'll move on to some of the good stuff. Next up, so Xbox, Microsoft, they took the stage on... So there was actually, before Xbox, there was EA. Anybody watch EA?
No. Sorry. It did not interest me whatsoever, to be honest.
No. Yeah, I didn't tune in either. Although they did have one title that they showed. It was actually shown at Xbox as well, which was the new Star Wars game.
Yes, that looked pretty good.
So what's it called?
I think we've got a community question regarding that.
So, yeah. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So that was shown at EA. Look, to EA's credit, they didn't show a lot of stuff, but they did dedicate a lot of time to showing off the games that they did have. But it's the usual fare: Battlefield, the sports games, so FIFA, Madden, and there was a Sims expansion. So yeah, we'll skip over. Yeah, and move on to the big guns. So Microsoft. Microsoft was probably the first of the big conferences to kick things off. Microsoft were kind of in a tough position, I thought, because, well, really they had to kind of, you could say, almost carry the show. I don't know what would have happened if Microsoft decided to turn around and said, you know what, Sony's not going to be there, we're not going to be there either. All right, thoughts on Microsoft?
They surprised me. I went in not expecting much, and you know what? I don't think I'm exaggerating, but I loved it. I actually, maybe because I didn't expect anything,
Yeah.
but look, I'll be honest. The Xbox Game Pass blew my mind. I thought this is, you know what? I'm happy if this is the way future of gaming's going to be now. I mean, if it's not going to be physical, I want a Netflix type subscription service in a game system,
Yeah.
and I think Xbox Game Pass is right on the money. It's you don't have to buy games. You seriously don't, and you're paying what, $15 a month, and you've got gold, you've got Xbox Game Pass on your Xbox, and you even got PC. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, look, I think Microsoft, I think they were kind of in a tough spot because we're in that kind of that end tail of the current
Yeah.
current generation. So, it's kind of hard to bring a lot of hype to the table. But to their credit, look, they did show. I think it was like 60 games, I believe.
Yeah.
During their conference. There was some definite highlights in there. So, like, for me personally, let's talk about Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Didn't see that one coming. So they showed off the Cyberpunk trailer, which looked great in and itself. And then at the end, they had a little twist with basically
Keanu
an
Reeves,
NPC character
yeah.
based on Keanu Reeves. Who then actually came out and announced the release date, and he's been the internet blew up after that. Like, you're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
No, you're breathtaking.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. So yeah, we've got a release date now, April 16, 2020. So
Yes.
I think a lot of people kind of expecting it this year, but
Yeah. Yeah, because it was very quiet when he announced it. It was like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could hear a pin drop. It was like, are you serious? That long? Yeah.
These
But it
games
was-
take a long time to make.
Yeah, and it was
This
a
is-
common theme towards the end as well. Was like there was a lot of stuff 2020.
I think what they did really well was highlight how much they're trying to move into games more, right? The big issue they had this generation was they forgot about getting good exclusives and actually realizing that games will sell your console.
Yeah,
And, you know, they spent a lot of time talking about all the different studios they've got on board, and those studios will take time to actually, you know, bring out solid games.
Yeah.
But it means they'll be in a good position come next console generation to actually, you know, deliver the goods and have a good standing against Sony, who really destroyed it this generation.
absolutely. So just quick rundown of like some of the other things. Then it's a Double Fine, creators of Psychonauts,
Yep.
is now part of Xbox Studios. Tim Schafer came out, introduced the game. So that's good for them.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I didn't really think it looked that great. It looked like a PS2 game.
Psychonauts.
The sequel, yeah. It didn't really.
Yeah. I'll be honest, mate. I'm not even really interested. I never really played the first one.
First one's fun. First one's quite good.
You know,
Yeah.
Look, glad everyone's getting a sequel, so that's awesome. Gears of War 5 had a really strange trailer.
Yeah.
That's coming out in September, so that's cool. Let's see. Now, this is the one that surprised the hell out of me. Wasn't expecting this one at all. Finally, after about 7 years, Phantasy Star Online 2
Yeah.
getting a US release to begin with. Hasn't been confirmed for Europe, and it's free to play as well. So that's also coming out in 2020. That caught me by surprise. If anyone was going to bring that, I would have thought it would have been Sony, but no, Microsoft jumped in and is making it happen. So there's a lot of people happy with that.
That's going to
Let's
get a
see.
lot of Westerners buying Xboxes, I think.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. It's coming to PC as well,
Oh,
though.
okay. Yeah.
So, but yeah, cool, good stuff. Just going through, Tales of Arise probably won't interest either of you, but it's another
Yeah, I
JRPG
saw that.
from Bandai Namco. I actually quite like the Tales series, so this looks really cool. It's got more of a Xenoblade style look to it, so it's a bit more open worldy. But I heard it's, from what I've read, it's not too open worldish. But that's also for 2020.
Well, the Blair Witch project game.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
Mm.
I reckon
Yeah,
that's going to be all right.
And I think that's, is it August or something, that release date for that one?
Yes,
It was
August.
pretty soon, I think.
yeah, August
August 30.
30.
Yeah, August 30.
Mm.
Yeah, so that looked interesting if you're into horror games. The Elden Ring. So this was kind of leaked a couple of days beforehand. So this is a game there's a collaboration basically between FromSoft, so Dark Souls, Bloodborne, etc., and George R.R. Martin from Game of Thrones. They showed a trailer. Didn't really get much out of it.
Yeah.
Just basically to confirm that the game is coming. So we'll see what happens with that down the track. Battletoads was shown. Daz, you liked it.
Look, I think it was okay, but I'm not a big fan of the series anyway. Like Matt Cooley said, it's very Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks as bad as a. What did I call the graphics?
Flash game.
A Flash game. I don't think it doesn't look
Flash
like I don't think it looks like a Flash game, but look, I'm not going to play it. It's I think the original game's arse anyway, so I don't think it's going to be any good. The only time I liked Battletoads is in what was it in Killer Instinct? I think that's their best.
Yeah.
That's their best game in that. Yeah, look, it might be fun. It might be fun, but I think they could have did a better job. I think the graphics could have looked a bit more grittier. I think Battletoads is a gritty game. It doesn't need to look like a Nickelodeon cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. Like wasn't expecting AAA quality, but yeah, I wasn't expecting what they showed, so that was kind of disappointing, to be honest. But so Microsoft announced another flight simulator game.
They looked amazing.
That looked good. That looked beautiful, I have to say. I don't know if I know it's the Xbox One as well. So nice. I was interested to see that one. Dragon Ball Z. Who cares? Dave, I'm sure this one you'll be interested in. The Outer Worlds coming
Yes.
October 25th from Obsidian.
Yeah, I saw about 20 minutes of gameplay footage. It looked pretty good. It looks a lot like sort of a Fallout type game, but obviously in a different setting. And I think what fans are really after is a game that has more consequences from your choices in dialogue and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think they will deliver on that, seeing as they did New Vegas, which kind of had a much better storyline and sort of much better consequences from your actions rather than Fallout 4. So yeah, that one's looking pretty good, coming out October 25, I think.
Yep. All right, so I'm just going to kind of quickly, Bleeding Edge. This was a multiplayer kind of brawler MOBA style game. Again, this one was leaked a couple of days before. Kind of got that Overwatch aesthetic to it. Combat actually looked quite fun. But we'll see what happens with that one. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Now this was shown last year as well. I was actually expecting this one to come out this year. This is another one that's coming out in 2020, February 11th. Man, that game is looking good.
Yeah. I really need to finish
beautiful.
I really need to finish the first one.
So do I.
It's really slack.
Another one. This one took me by surprise as well. Minecraft Dungeons, which was like a third-person top-down
Diablo
almost
Minecraft
Diablo style game.
Yeah.
Now
It looks awesome.
I don't give a shit about Minecraft, but this one got my attention. This one's coming next year as well. It looked good. It looks fun.
It actually reminded me of What was that game on the PS3? The 8-bit Zelda game? Looked like Zelda, but it was an 8-bit
Oh, 8-bit
Heroes.
Heroes.
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously it'll probably have full cross-play, so you'd be able to play it from your Switch against someone on an Xbox or a PC or what have you.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Because, it was announced for the Switch as well, so that's cool.
And local co-op, 4 players as well.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Awesome.
the game was called 3D Dot Game Heroes.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Forza Horizon 2, Lego.
You're happy with that one, aren't you,
expansion.
Mark? You're happy with that one.
Daz wasn't impressed. I thought it looked awesome. I reckon it looks great. I'll have to grab that one down the track for sure. Just trying to look through here. And then, look, then there was a bunch of other stuff that was announced as well. But I think the one that the three of us were kind of most hype about was, as that Daz mentioned earlier, was the Xbox Game Pass. PCs finally got their own version of it as well, which is great.
Do you think that's gonna, I wouldn't say kill, do you think it's gonna take a lot of attention away from Steam?
From Steam? No, I don't think so.
I reckon
so.
I reckon it will on the long term.
Steam's too big, man. Steam is a juggernaut compared. Like, not saying that Microsoft's not, but Microsoft will have to get a hell of a lot of people on board for that. I can't see it putting a massive dent in Steam, but you never know.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it. I reckon another 5 years, Steam isn't going to be the same.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know about that, mate.
Yeah, you reckon? Joking. No, I'm calling it. I reckon it's going to fail. I don't reckon it's going to fall on its ass, but I think it's going to slow down for them.
Steam?
For Steam, I personally think.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, they'll have to get a lot more on board. A lot more games on board. Like, we've got 100 at the moment, I think, now.
Yeah.
Dude, they need to bump that up 10 times.
Oh, dude, it's just starters. But look, dude, Netflix killed DVD shops, man.
Yeah, I believe that, but like the problem is, again, like Steam has the same issue, but a lot of the stuff that they've and again, like you said, it is just starters, but a lot of stuff that they've got underneath, a lot of it is filler as well. Like, of those 100 games, realistically at the moment, how many of those are you interested in?
I don't know. I'd have to look through it. Yeah, probably.
Maybe. You know what I mean? But yeah, like you said, it's early days, so who knows? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that is definitely the direction that we all seem to be heading. Let's see how long it takes for Sony to do something similar. Next, Bethesda. Bethesda won the award for the most annoying press conference of the fucking show. Thanks to one dude in the audience who had to have been an employee. If you don't know what we're talking about, go and watch the press conference. I'll guarantee you will switch off after 5 minutes of this guy hooting and hollering like a typical American douchebag, I have to say, very quietly, so my wife doesn't hear me and kill me. It's funny how like one person can single-handedly ruin a press conference. Like, I was legit agitated watching this thing, and it's not because Bethesda, what they were showing was bad. It was just because this guy was like overdoing it, man. Like, the developers would come on stage and you would think that these guys were like superstars the way this guy was carrying on, you know? It was ridiculous. But Dave, I might throw this one over to you because I know you're a Bethesda fan. So what caught your eye?
Yeah, so I think, there was a bit of disappointment because obviously there wasn't any talk about Elder Scrolls 6. And there wasn't any talk, I don't think, about Starfield either, which are their sort of two upcoming games that people are really keen on. But the head of Bethesda had said that basically those two games are still a while away. So realistically, we weren't expecting to see too much at E3. What caught my eye? Probably really only two things, to be honest. The first one is Doom Eternal.
That looked amazing. That looked amazing.
Looks great.
Wow. Yeah.
The Doom 2016 was awesome, and this looks like it's just that, amped up even more. What I really like with the new Dooms is how they managed to make a single-player game feel like a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
And it just, that seamless action where, you're low on health, but if you do a certain ability or move, that'll restore your health so you don't have to, stop and heal and things like that. So the ability to keep the pace going in the game is so good. They've got a new battle mode that they mentioned for the game called Demon versus Slayer, which I think is a 2-on-1, where basically the Slayer has to take on two different demons, and either side can win, and you can choose, I think, from different demons that you can play as. That looked interesting. I don't know how well it'll play out, but looked like something different, which is kind of cool. It's got a November release date, so that looked pretty awesome. I'll definitely be playing it when it comes out. It also seemed to have a bit more of a puzzle element to it than the previous Doom. So there seemed to be, switches and levers and things like that you had to activate in order to progress. Hopefully that doesn't slow the pace of the game down too much, but I guess time will tell. So that was probably one of the highlights for me. The other one was probably hearing a bit more about Fallout 76 and the things they're trying to do to improve it. They didn't flat out come out and say that it, was a total failure, but they obviously have realized that people were quite pissed off about it. So the main things they announced is they're adding human NPCs to the game, and there'll be a new quest line, and potentially that quest line may span over multiple, months or years, so they might add to it going forward. And that, I think, was due to be implemented around September or October this year. And they also announced that they've got a battle royale, which is pretty much what everyone does when their game is failing. 52-player battle royale. And you could demo play it already, so that was kind of cool at least. I haven't given it a go. I'm not really into battle royales much, but from what I've heard, it actually plays reasonably well, so that's kind of a positive for them. And it kind of suits Fallout 76 in a sense. There is construction and building base camps and that sort of thing in the game. So being able to do that and then have a battle royale is kind of cool, I guess. But that were really my only two takeaways from the show. They did have other things, but it was kind of a bit flat for me, and the crowd was very annoying as well, I have to say. Did you have anything that you sort of took away from it, or?
Yeah, look, I'm interested in Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ah, yes.
It helped that she was probably the cutest presenter that I saw in all of E3. She was so enthusiastic. She was gorgeous. It was awesome. That was about it. Deathloop looked okay, but the presenters came off as a bit try-hardy, in my opinion. And everything else, besides Doom, there's a lot of focus on mobile. Actually, one thing I wanted to ask you, Commander Keen.
Oh, no. I didn't like it at all.
What the hell was that about? What the hell was that about? That's not Commander Keen. Who asked for that? Seriously, I'm going to swear here. I was pissed off. I was really pissed. When I heard Commander Keen, I was like, okay, awesome.
Awesome, yeah, exactly.
This is
and then they showed...
What the hell was that shit?
It was more Nickelodeon stuff, man.
Far out.
Literally. And not only that, it's a mobile game. I'm like, what? What are you doing?
Come on. Who's asking for this? Who's asking for this?
I don't know.
It's a platform game. It's a fun platform game.
Yeah, exactly.
That really, like, what the hell? Yeah.
That's funny, man. I was just like, you guys are so far off the mark. It's ridiculous. But anyways, all right. Well, that's about it then for Bethesda, I think. Now we'll probably just quickly, because I don't know if any of us actually Dave, did you watch the PC conference at all?
No, I
No.
didn't. I watched the Square conference, and that was about it, I think.
I watched Devolver.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right. So, look, not much to touch on in regards to the PC because none of us watched it. It's generally one that you kind of skip over every year. One bit of big news though, coming out of the PC show, and if you're a Shenmue 3 Kickstarter backer on PC, you have my condolences because you got shafted so hard. So the big news coming out of that is that Shenmue 3 is now going to be an exclusive on the Epic Game Store, and people are not happy. People look. There's a lot of anti-Epic sentiment. Part of it's to do with Fortnite. Part of it is to do with some of the dodgy practices that they're doing with this store. They announce a sale, and then all of a sudden, a lot of developers either remove their games from sale or hike up the prices to compensate, and all this kind of stuff. So people are not happy with Epic. People are not happy with the Epic Game Store. And then to have the shitty thing with the whole Shenmue 3 situation though is because people have already backed this Kickstarter and they've backed this like 5 years ago, right? And now they have no choice. They have to go through the Epic Store, and they are not offering refunds. Basically, they've said, "Too bad. This is the way it's going to be. If you want your game, you're going to have to go through the Epic Store," and that sucks. That is, and this is going to have a knock-on effect. I guarantee it. You wait and see. People are going to be hesitant now to back Kickstarters for games like this anymore. I know. I can tell you personally, I won't be backing anymore because it's just proven to be too unreliable. Yeah.
And
Again,
when's the game slated to come out now?
November, I believe. Yeah, pretty sure it was November. And then to make it matters worse, like they showed footage of Shenmue 3 and it's not looking great. And Daz's personal
dude, come on, you can race turtles. Far
race,
out.
race turtles.
That is,
Yeah.
jeez.
Oh,
And
again.
you know what? It looks like a Dreamcast game.
Yeah, it does.
If it was on Dreamcast,
Yeah.
it would be fantastic. But it's not. It's not on a Dreamcast.
The thing for me is like they show this game and the characters talk and they have like no emotion, right? Like like Ryu or Ryo, or what's his name, Ryo, always has the same blank look on his face.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be an RPG, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I didn't back it. Put it that way.
Look, they screwed the first two remakes because that's
Yeah.
buggy as shit, and now
Yeah.
they're screwing the third one.
Yes. Oh well.
Oh well, we don't care. We don't play it.
No. Alright.
Enjoy your racing turtles, guys.
Yeah. Again, you have our condolences if you were one of the people that backed that game on PC anyway. Next one. Now this was probably one of my favorite conferences of all of E3. This was Square Enix. If you are a old school Final Fantasy VII fan like I am, I played that game to death when I was probably 17, 18. We finally got to see some proper remake footage, and goddamn, it looked good.
It looks very good.
It looked so good. By the time that thing was done, I had tears in my eyes. I was so happy. Yeah, I was absolutely blown away. So they've confirmed now that it's actually got a release date, the first part anyway, which is going to be March 3, 2020, of course. Going to be shipping on 2 Blu-ray discs, which is insane in itself because it's literally just the first part of the Final Fantasy VII journey. And the battle system just looks so good. Everything looked good. Battle system, the dialogue,
Graphics, everything.
character visuals. Yeah. They've nailed it.
Okay, I have
Like,
to say, sorry, a question about the battle system. Is that like what Kingdom Hearts is like? I mean, because I don't know. I've never played
it's
Kingdom
different.
Hearts, so...
It's similar, but Kingdom Hearts is probably more like something along the lines of, say, something like Devil May Cry.
Oh, really?
It's a bit more actiony. Like you've got like spells and things like that you can use, but it's more hotkey based. So you can do it and you don't have to stop and fiddle with menus. Whereas this is more. It's not turn based anymore. It is more actiony based, but you'll get to a point where you'll build up your. I think it's called ATB gauge. Which will then you need to use that gauge to be able to do certain actions. So if you want to heal, use a potion, you have to use that gauge. If you want to use magic, if you want to use like special abilities, you have to do that. And so the game will then, depending on how you play, because there's actually different options, the game will kind of stop and it'll let you like kind of pan around and all that kind of stuff. And then you can then go ahead and through the menu system choose what you want to do and then keep on going like that. From what I've heard, so there was an on-floor demo that people could play, and there was also ones that were showing special ones for the press. And apparently it's even more, the battle system is more like fleshed out than what they actually showed during the trailers as well. So like you'll be able to, because you weren't able to do it in the original, but now you'll be able to like flip between the different characters. So you might start off like an attack with Cloud and then switch to Barrett and then do something to kind of continue the momentum, so to speak. And you'll have to use like different, like they showed a bit in the demo where Cloud got kind of captured by the Scorpion boss, I think it was, and Barrett had to shoot the tail to get him to like be free so he could keep on, continuing on it and all that kind of stuff. So, I can't stop gushing over this game. I cannot wait.
Do you think it's a good thing that they've actually changed the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because dude, turn-based games, man, in this day and age, they're not as popular as they used to be. And otherwise, you're just playing the same game with prettier graphics.
Yeah, I think it needed it. I think it really helps.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough.
And especially, look, if they had screwed up the combat system, then yeah, it would have been better to have left it as it is. But no, I think they've made the right call. And it's the same with like Resident Evil 2 remake. They didn't do the exact same thing. They adopted the Resident Evil 4 over-the-shoulder perspective, and that just makes the game better. Mm-hmm. They've adapted with the time, so to speak. So. Yeah, cannot wait for that. Dave, what did you think?
Yeah, I loved it. Look, to be honest, initially I wasn't really interested in playing Final Fantasy VII again because it is a big game.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. And I was thinking, have I really got the stamina to play that style of game again 20 years later or however long it's been?
Yeah.
But the fact that they've actually made it episodic, which normally is a negative, I think is probably a positive in this sense because it's let them make the game even better and bigger, and I can focus on a smaller part of the game. So I presume they're probably going to have 2 or 3 episodes, maybe to round it out. I don't know. But I'd be happy just to play through this one when it comes out, and I think it's going to be great. So I'll definitely play it now.
Who knows? It might be 3, like the 3 discs.
Most likely,
yeah. And I'd say it'd be 3.
And I'd be very surprised if we get the first episode next year, and then the next one will probably be on PS5.
Yeah.
And then after that, and then they'll probably re-release the first one again on the PS5 to take advantage of the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So what else? If you're an RPG fan, like Square, they more than had you covered. Final Fantasy VIII getting a remake, finally getting remastered. Funny story about that. Apparently it's common practice in Japan. One of the reasons why 8 has really never really been remastered is because they lost the original source code.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy, isn't
Yep.
it?
Yeah. And apparently it's not Square aren't the only ones. Apparently it's like a lot of publishers, a lot of developers. Because back then they didn't really have the storage, options that we kind of do now. So they lost the source code. So hilarious. What else was Romancing Saga 3?
It's coming to the Vita as well, which is
Oh,
bizarre.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's coming. Another RPG, Saga Scarlet Grace, came out in Japan and Vita years ago. Now it's coming out on the Switch, PS4, Steam, and all your other options. What else? Outriders. I don't really remember much about this one. Looks more like a Western style shooter. Oh, that's right. Yeah, look very similar to Gears of War. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really show a whole lot about from this one, but this one's probably for more of the Western audience. Coming to Xbox One, PS4, PC.
Dragon Quest Builders 2 was another one.
Yeah, that one's coming as well. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition gets the award for the longest title. Coming to mobile phones in addition to Switch and PS4. Another one, Anunnaki, coming in August. I don't remember much about that one, but made by the same guys that did I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere. There's more mobile stuff. The Last Remnant, another RPG that's getting remastered.
Yep. Oh, wow.
That one actually came out on Switch. It came out straight away. To do Square Enix, don't really know. No. Oh yeah, there was another one that kind of caught my eye. Actually, it was kind of interesting. It was they started talking about a racing game and started talking about old school racing games, and they actually showed this. It's a top down, and this one I think would catch your eye, Darren, if you actually if you see the footage. It's called Circuit Superstars. So it's a top down racing game, similar to along the lines of like visually anyway, like Mashed and.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
It looked cool. I think it's based on real cars and stuff like that. It's like there's no weapon combat or anything like that. It's more.
Yeah, it's my type of game, man. I love that top down. Yep.
It's more focused on the racing. They kind of stuck that one in there, and I think that it's probably one of those games that's probably going to get criticised by a lot of people. But when I saw it, I was like, damn, hell yeah. I can't wait for that. So I'm not sure when that one's coming out, but
2020.
that one's of course. That one's definitely on the radar.
That's awesome.
Kingdom Hearts 3 getting DLC. By this time, I don't think a lot of people really care about Kingdom Hearts. To be honest, it was a disappointment. And then the last game that they showed off, which is one that's been hyping for a year or so now, which was the Avengers. This one this was interesting. This one caught me by surprise. Because the cast, we're so used to seeing the cast from the movies. So when they showed the visuals of these, like the characters look different. As I saw it referenced there, it was like budget Avengers. They showed off a trailer for the game. It probably included about 15 seconds worth of actual gameplay. Everything else was just the usual in-game cinematics. It looks alright. Like some character models look a little bit off. Black Widow looked...
Yeah, she doesn't look like Black Widow, does she?
Doesn't look great. Steve Rogers, Captain America, doesn't look great. Iron Man looked good. Thor looked okay. Hulk looked like Hulk. But basically, yeah, what they showed was like it's going to be like it's going to be what's the in-game term, the popular term, like a service model game, so something along the lines of Division, Destiny, etc. So it's
Yep.
going to constantly be updated. They did say that any characters that they add to the game will be for free, which is good. So no loot boxes or anything like that. I'm sure they'll be selling skins and stuff, but that's fine. And any extra areas or missions and stuff like that will be added for free as well. Reports that I saw though, like apparently there was a demo that journalists got to play, and supposedly the game is really fun. But for whatever reason, they chose not to show it during the demo, which was bizarre because they really didn't do themselves any favors. Didn't look that great. Dave, what did you think of Avengers?
Yeah, I sort of had the same opinion, and I always get a bit freaked out with that, the look in characters' eyes and how it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And the small amount of footage that was shown is not really enough to sort of make a judgment call on how the game will be. I got, positive hopes that it'll be something that I could, play from time to time.
Yeah.
If it turns out to be something like a Destiny, but, in a Marvel setting, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd give it a go for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a wait and see. Like, I've got hopes for it. If it turns out, because it's going to be 4 players as well, you'll be able to play 4 players online as well, which will be cool. So I'm hoping it's going to be a more modern day version of an RPG that I loved to death before it was shut down, which is Marvel Heroes. So yeah, I'm fingers crossed for that one. So that was Square. Now we're going to kind of skip over Ubisoft because I don't think anyone here really watched Ubisoft.
No.
From what I read, if you're a fan of Tom Clancy games, you're probably going to be happy because that's pretty much what they showed. There was no Beyond Good and Evil 2, no Splinter Cell. So, yeah, not really much there for us to see. Which leaves us, which in my opinion was probably the best until last, Nintendo.
I agree. Because you know what was the main thing that I enjoyed the most about this conference? Is that they showed gameplay.
They showed gameplay, exactly. Exactly. And that's one thing I forgot to mention earlier. If there was one thing that you could criticize from Microsoft, and not even just Microsoft actually, pretty much everyone, there was just too much CG and cinematic trailers and not enough gameplay footage. And when they did show gameplay, it was like very, very minimal. Whereas with Nintendo, pretty much everything they showed was all gameplay footage. So that was pretty awesome. All right, so let's see. Let's quickly run through. Now, Nintendo, I think, it showed about 40 games, I believe. They end up showing in their conference. Some of the big stuff. Zelda Breath of the Wild is getting a direct sequel. I enjoyed the first. I played Breath of the Wild. I enjoyed it for a few hours, but I got frustrated with the weapon system and how the weapons could break and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
So
That's what put me off.
yeah. I got to a boss fight and I basically ended up with no usable weapons. So, but still, look, a lot of people consider that to be the best Zelda of all time. So, yeah, good on them. And it'll be good because it'll be solely for the Switch. It's not going to be, a Wii U Switch version like we kind of got before. So, cool. Next one.
There was no time frame on that one though, was there?
No. They just said it was coming, and that was it. Smash fans, of which I am one, we've got 2 character announcements. One is the Dragon's Quest Hero. That was actually pretty neat because it's the current hero from the current Dragon's Quest, but you can also play as some of the others from the previous games. Like I think you could choose like different skins and they had different abilities and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But the one that everyone was waiting for, everyone got their wish came true. So Banjo and Kazooie was confirmed as the third DLC character that's coming. He'll be coming on, or they'll be coming along later in the year. It was a pretty hype announcement, I have to say, if you're a fan of Smash.
So my son Christian loves the game.
Love Smash, yeah.
He wasn't that thrilled about those two. I think
really?
Yeah, I think he was expecting like maybe what's it called, Master Chief or something instead. But
yeah, I don't know. How do you put Master Chief in Smash?
But you got Banjo-Kazooie in Smash, you know, dude.
Yeah, but
what's
Banjo?
You got this guy. What's his name? He's in Smash. What are they called? The Game & Watch guy. You know, I mean,
but yeah, I guess you could have a character with guns and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, look, there's other characters I personally would prefer to see. Like, I really want to see like Sora from Kingdom Hearts in Smash, but I don't think that's going to happen now that we've got Dragon's Quest's hero. It's awesome though that again the Microsoft Nintendo bromance continues on.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
They're letting him use it. I'll be surprised if we don't see maybe a Banjo-Kazooie remaster on the Switch down the track as well.
Yeah. I reckon they'll re-release Nuts and Bolts for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, something along those lines. So, and I know you guys won't give a shit, but Animal Crossing New Horizon.
Yeah, it doesn't interest me.
No.
To me, it's just exciting as turtles racing. So.
Yeah, look, being delayed to March 2020. My daughter's a massive Animal Crossing fan, though, so
that's fair enough.
She was hyped to see the trailer, but yeah, disappointed to see that it was pushed back for that long. But if it means that they avoid the whole crunch thing and it's feature rich, then yeah, look, good on them. Link's Awakening, the remake of the Game Boy game.
Mind blown. I'm mind blown.
How good does it look, man?
It looks amazing.
I love that visual style. It looks awesome, and that's confirmed as coming as September 20. I've actually pre-ordered it.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it too.
Have you seen the EB Games?
Yeah.
Collector's thing with the Game Boy case.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. They also announced it's going to have like you can kind of create your own little custom dungeons and stuff like that as well. So that was pretty damn cool. But yeah, I love the way that game looks. It looks so cool. There was also another one that they announced, Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah, that didn't look
weird.
Yeah, that didn't interest me.
I like it. It's
like a rhythm.
Dance. Yeah,
it's like a rhythm action game or something. I'm kind of curious about it, to be honest. I'll have to watch some reviews because it looks different.
It's out now, actually.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see the way that game works. Luigi's Mansion 3 coming. No release date confirmed yet. Has confirmed though that it's going to have an online mode, which actually looked pretty cool, and couch co-op as well. I've never really played the Luigi's Mansions games before.
Me neither.
But I'm keen to pick this one up. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Demon Ex Machina is coming September 13 this year. This is the cool-looking mech game. They've been showing for a few months now. Actually had a playable demo a couple of months back. Looks alright. We'll see how it goes. No More Heroes 3, again, another one for 2020. Anyone play No More Heroes?
No.
Any of you guys?
No.
I like the art style. I think it looks nice.
Yeah, looks cool. Looks alright. again, RPG fans, Square's got you covered once more. Trials of Mana. So they announced two things. So there's a collection called the Collection of Mana. So this is already out on the Switch store. Sorry, on the eShop. Which is like basically a retro collection. So first three games in the series, which is Final Fantasy Adventure for the Game Boy, Secret of Mana for the SNES, and the third game, which is Trials of Mana, which has actually never been released up until this point in time. Very expensive though, $60 for those three games. To me, if you're going to charge that much, they could have at least included the Secrets of Mana remake with that. There is a physical copy for that as well that's available for pre-order if you want the hard copy of that, which works out to actually be cheaper than what you would pay digitally. They also did show a 3D remake of Trials of Mana as well, which looks really nice as well. And again, coming to Switch early 2020. We also got, again, Dragon's Quest 11 Definitive Edition coming to Switch September 27. Dave, I know this one you'll be excited about, The Witcher 3 getting a Switch release. How do you think the Switch is going to handle it?
It'll probably have a bit of frame rate issues from time to time, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah.
I actually watched the video on Digital Foundry. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen it.
They were very impressed on, because obviously they only had this E3 footage to go off. And, But, yeah, a lot of, like, the draw distance is not as far, and, they've cut a lot of corners with detail and all that, but they reckon it'll probably run at a solid 30 frames per second.
Okay, that's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
It's comparable to the PS4 and the Xbox, so it's good. Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming to Switch. Yeah, no surprise there. They've already released all the other games. Contra Rogue Corps coming to Switch in September 24. It's Contra in name only, man. That game looked terrible.
Yeah.
It's
another
game.
it's another Commander Keen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
what?
Why?
Konami, why you do this? And then the one that fucking caught me by surprise, I had to look twice. I'm like, hang on, that's not what I think it is it? Panzer Dragoon getting a remake.
That's fantastic.
On the Switch. Caught me by... Look, I don't know if this had been rumoured before or what, but that one came out of nowhere. Like, I looked at it, I saw the footage. Cause it's funny, because I was kind of like, I was awake when the original Switch presentation came on. This was like 2 a.m, right? So I'm like lying in bed and I looked at it and I thought, what the fuck is that? And my mind didn't quite register it, but then I got up early the next morning and my daughter and I watched the direct together. And I was like, what the hell, Panzer Dragoon? So, yeah, awesome.
Was she like, Dad, what the hell is that?
Yeah, exactly.
What's this old shit, Dad?
Exactly. Now, next one, Daz.
Yeah.
Daz will be crying tears of joy. Netflix, Dark Crystal, getting a tactics-style RPG.
Tactics wouldn't have been my personal choice for a Dark Crystal game. I think a 3D adventure game would have been phenomenal. Even if it was like The Witcher, I would have just sunk my time in it. But you know what? I'll take anything. It looks awesome. Look, I was a fan. It does. It's a beautiful looking game. Look, I was a fan of Final Fantasy Tactics and that kind of thing. The GBA and Advance Wars of and Fire Emblem on the handheld.
Yeah.
So this is right up my alley. I'll enjoy this. And it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah, claymation style graphics coming this year as well, so that's cool. It looked very, very pretty. I have to say, I was really surprised with how good it actually looked.
And it's funny because I watched the video on the developers. It was at E3 as well, and there's a lot of gameplay footage and that kind of thing. And that to sign what do you call it?
NDA.
NDA.
Yeah, with no one was allowed to talk about they were making this. Because it was going to conflict with with the series, and they said
Yeah.
they go, we know what's going to happen because we're basing it off the show,
Yeah,
but we're not
yeah.
allowed to say. And
Yeah.
but because the hardest part about making this game is not telling anyone that it was getting made. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, there's going to be a physical edition, some special edition thing that.
I'd be surprised if Limited Run don't jump on that, man.
I just hope. I hope it's a physical version. I hope it doesn't have to limit. I hope it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be on limited run. Uh, I don't care. I just want a physical version so I can put on my shelf.
Exactly. Um, Another one. Now this one, okay, Empire of Sin, was like a very 1930s style. Looks like a what do you call it? You know what it reminded me of, Des? Remember Untouchables
Mm.
on the C64?
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, yes,
It
yeah.
reminded me of that. It was that that like mafia style game.
Gangster, yeah,
Gangster.
yeah.
I just found this out now. This is by John Romero.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it had my interest before, but now it has my attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll definitely be keen to check this out. I know I just got that very, very Untouchables vibe to it. So, and I love that movie and the game back in the day. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Oh, the game was amazing. I can't remember if it was a Switch game or not. I think it was. I can't remember the name of it, and it really intrigued me. It was it started off in a top-down view, and you're arguing with your girlfriend. And
That was the Microsoft game.
oh, was it
12
Microsoft?
minutes.
Oh, was that Microsoft? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm going
And-
back to that then. For some reason, I thought it was Switch.
Yeah, no, that was Microsoft. That looked interesting as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
you kept like it was like a time loop.
Time loop thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of, because it wasn't listed on the games that I had there, but and then they shut off like your normal, reel. So Spyro's coming September 3rd. Ni no Kuni remake. Minecraft Dungeons was confirmed for Switch. Alien Isolation, which I thought was interesting that they're going to re-release that.
Because that
Yeah, it's a
flopped.
bit old
Didn't that
now.
flop? Didn't that flop?
I think it was one of the games that kind of started off slow and it picked up steam afterwards.
Okay.
New Super Lucky's Tale, again, which is another Microsoft game, so that's coming to Switch as well.
Yeah.
And then they showed, Mario Sonic at the Olympic Games, Dead by Daylight, and Dauntless, which is the Monster Hunter clone. So look, that was Nintendo. They probably had my favorite besides Square conference of A3. Like Daz mentioned earlier, main reason is because again they had their surprises in there, but they actually showed gameplay footage, which is really, really good. And I loved the little bit of humor at the start as well with Bowser and the new President Doug Bowser as well. That was pretty funny as well. But look, overall, I think for what, as I said, was kind of like a transition year for E3 with no real new hardware coming at the tail end of the existing gen. It was always going to be a tough E3, but overall, it was pretty damn enjoyable.
No, it was great.
Did you mention Pokemon Sword and Shield?
No, I didn't. Thank you. Yes. Now, two things about Pokemon Sword and Shield. So there was a Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct a couple of weeks back, just prior to E3, where they confirmed that the games are coming out this year. They showed the two new legendary Pokemon as well. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. One is affectionately known as Sword Doggo because he runs around with a sword in his mouth, and the other one is Shield Doggo. He has a big shield on his face. The game looks great. I can't wait.
My son is so excited. You can't stop talking about it.
They showed some of the features that it's going to have. Something called Dynamax, which is basically you'll be battling, and then you can start the Dynamax mode, and you call your Pokemon back, put them in the ball, and then kind of put them in this other ball, and then throw the ball behind you, and then they turn into like 20-foot Pokemon. So it's almost like Godzilla. It's
Yeah.
fucking awesome, man. It's like so random.
Listeners, you've got to see Mark's face. He's loving it. He's
And
loving it.
I'm like beaming.
Yeah,
and shit,
he's
man.
loving
You know,
it. He's
like,
loving it.
I love it, man. And then there's going to be so they're taking a cue from Pokemon Go as well. So there's a place called the Wild area. So you'll be able to walk around in this area, and there's going to be random Pokemon everywhere from different generations and stuff. But then what you can do is there's these little red beams of light that you can go towards, and you go there and you can actually do 4-player battles against like a super strong Pokemon. And like one of you can use a Dynamax mode, so you have to kind of coordinate and all that kind of stuff. They've confirmed, that's going to be November this year. I can't remember the exact date. But the downside is that what they have said is because there are so many Pokemon now, I think we're over 800, that there's going to be no what they call as the National Pokedex. So what that means is, so they've announced that there's going to be a new service coming for Pokemon called Pokemon Home. So what that lets you do is transfer your Pokemon from previous games, so like your 3DS games, if you play Pokemon Go from Pokemon Go and stuff like that, and transfer them between the different games. Problem is though, because there's no national Pokedex, it means you can't transfer all the Pokemon from say Pokemon Go, for example, into the new game. And people are up in arms about that. People are not happy because it means basically you can't transfer some of your favorites to the newer game. People upset. I understand. I don't care. I can't wait. This game is looking godlike. I can't wait until November. Yeah,
and they got the double pack
as
well coming out, which is quite nice.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you save a little bit of. You might save $10 or so, but it comes in a nice little steel case and everything like that. I can't wait. Oh, God, I wish it was November already. But yeah, so that's pretty much it though for E3. So what we're going to do for our retro segment though is we're going to move on. Our main thing we'll talk about is the Mega Drive Mini or Genesis Mini if you happen to be listening in the US. So they've confirmed the full list of games now that are coming out. Is it 40 titles?
42.
42.
That are coming out. Daz, you take the lead on this one.
You know what? I was like before, I was like, yeah, it's coming out. I've got my emulator, I can use all that. But you know what? I'm going to support Sega on this one. I think they've done really well for the choice of games. There's a couple there I wouldn't really put in there that I think were quite weird. Just disappointed that I think Sonic 3 should have been in there. I don't understand. I'm assuming it's got to do with music licensing. That's the only
it
thing
is.
Yeah. Because I think Sonic 3 is the pinnacle of Sonic for me personally. I know a lot of people like 2. 2's great, but 3 is just absolutely amazing. But to see, which I think is absolutely amazing, to see Monster World 4 getting a release in English in the West, besides being on the Wonder Boy collection that was on the 360 and PS3, it's fantastic. So and I'm just waiting for someone once it comes out to rip it, and so I can maybe modify my original cartridge and have an English version on there. But just Bloodlines is there next generation Castlevania. That's such a great game. It's just that I think they've covered all bases.
Yeah.
There's something there for everyone, and there's some quality games there. I could be mistaken. There's no Sparkster, is there? There's no.
No.
So I think Rocket Knight Adventures should have been on there. I think that would have been a great choice. But there's always games that say that should have been on there. But I think it's great. The only thing I could probably be very disappointed about is that the West is only getting a 3-button pad, which I think is actually ridiculous. I think it's just stupid.
especially considering you've got Street Fighter on there.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's absolutely dumb.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't make any sense.
I think you can purchase the 6-button pad separately.
You can. There is going to be one that you can buy. Yeah,
Which is-
that's been confirmed.
That's just stupid. It just doesn't make sense.
So if you could change any of these games in the lineup, what would you take out and what would you replace it with? You've already mentioned Rocket Knight.
Well, I've got to see what's in the lineup. Mega Drive Mini Games list. Let's have a look, eh? What do we have here? Okay, what would I take out and replace? Let's have a look. Jeez, there's a lot of good games on there. I was quite impressed that there's Tetris on there, which is great.
Yeah.
Elisa Dragoon is a surprise. That is such a good game. Virtua Fighter 2 useless. Shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
That's filler for some unknown reason. They don't need that because there's so many games out there. Lane Soccer was very surprising. That's a really good addition. Where are we? You know what? Because you don't get a 3-button pad, I don't think there's a point of having Street Fighter 2 on there. I really don't think. It's not a Mega Drive game. It's not a Mega Drive game. You know what I mean? There should be more exclusives on there. And see, Golden Axe 2, I think, should have been there.
Yeah, I kind of like that one better than the first one, to be honest.
Me too, I do. Strider was a great addition. I think Mega Man Wily Wars, as much as it's not a great version of Mega Man, because supposedly there's a bit of input lag no matter what version you play. It's just not that sensitive, even if you get the original cart. I think it's a great addition. I think Dynamite Heady is a bit overrated. Comic Zone I think is a fantastic addition. Personally, I think, I reckon piss off Virtua Fighter 2. Echo the Dolphin, I think is absolute crap, but I know people like that. I think Virtua Fighter 2 is the standout one that should have been kicked out, and I think Street Fighter 2 shouldn't be there. I don't see the point. I see it belongs on the SNES Mini because that was like, this is Street Fighter 2, the first time on a console. I think it belongs there. On the Mega Drive, no. As much as I do enjoy that version, if you're not going to release it, especially if you're not going to release it in the West with a 6-button pad, what's the friggin' point? It's stupid.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Dave, what would you take out and replace it with?
Yeah, I've probably got no love for columns. I'd get rid of that. In addition to probably what Darren said already. Probably the other one for me, Contra never really gelled for me. So while other people might like that, I'm not a big fan of it.
It's very hard.
Yeah, and it's like, you might have had a memory of it. You go and play it for 20 minutes and then you're like, I don't want to play this ever again. So that'd probably get rid of those. I think I would have liked to have seen Shining Force 2 on there.
Yeah, that should have been
in addition to the first one.
Yeah.
Some of the other games probably didn't make it because of licensing. Like Aladdin would have been great to have on there.
Mm-hmm.
The Mega Drive version is different to the SNES version, so it would have been good.
It's the better version.
Yeah.
And Rocket Knight or Sparkster, maybe even Flink. Flink wasn't on there either. That looks quite nice.
Flink was amazing game. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've got Mickey Mouse on there. They didn't get Quackshot. I really liked the Donald Duck Quackshot game.
Yeah, I'd swap World of Illusion for Quackshot. Yeah.
So, and probably the last one would be Rollo to the Rescue. I have a fond memory of this game. I think it might have been one of the first games I rented. And even though it's a bit of a spaz game, I like it. Would have been nice to see something like that on there. So, yeah, that's probably my choices.
Yeah, cool. What do you reckon, Mark?
Yeah, look, Virtua Fighter 2, I don't know why that's on there. I'd take that out. Personally, I'd replace it with Mortal Kombat 2 and throw in a 6-button pad for crying out loud. Yeah, besides that, I would take out, like Dave said, columns. It's a poor man's Tetris, especially when you've got Tetris on here as well. I'd take that out, and I'd probably replace that with maybe something like Streets of Rage 3.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
You know, a game seems to kind of get lost in the shuffle a lot of times as well.
I think it's great. I like it. I like it.
And then probably the other one. Look, if we weren't getting a 6-button pad, yeah, like Virtua Fighter 2, I would replace that with. God, I just had a game in my head and it's just dropped out. Are you kidding me? Revenge of Shinobi's on here, isn't it?
No, I
No.
think it's only on the Japanese one. Is that right?
We've got Shinobi 3
We've
though.
got Shinobi
Yeah.
3, which I think is
Yeah.
better. I think it's a better game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The Japs have Musha, which I think is great. We should have got that, and it's Thunder Force 3, which we should have got that as well.
No, we do get Thunder Force 3.
Oh, we did. Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's really good variety in the list of games. That's
Yeah.
a great thing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was another game that I was thinking of to replace Virtua Fighter 2, and it's Earthworm Jim 2 as well, or Sonic and Knuckles.
Mm.
Yeah, but you can't have Sonic and Knuckles with Sonic 3 because it's really the second part.
Yeah, I know. Still, yeah, I'm actually surprised that they would put Earthworm Jim over Earthworm Jim 2. Earthworm Jim 2 was the better game.
I never played the sequel.
Really? Oh,
No,
that's awesome.
no.
Yeah, awesome. But overall, yeah, no, this there's not much complaints. Like I said, the only one really that should not be there is Virtua Fighter 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could make the argument. I think you're on the money as well for Street Fighter if you're not going to include a 6-button pad packed in, then really it shouldn't be there. But otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty spot on list. And speaking of minis, one thing that we didn't cover from E3, surprise Konami announcement, TurboGrafx PC Engine Mini coming as well. No confirmed date yet, but what they did confirm was that the US obviously will be getting the TurboGrafx Mini, Japan will be getting the PC Engine Mini, and Europe, and I assume that would include us, would be getting the core
Graphics, yeah.
the core graphics Mini.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. They've only confirmed 6 games so far. I'll be honest, I'm dead tired and I can't remember what the games were, but Ninja Spirit was one.
Ninja Spirits,
Yeah.
yes.
So I know that was one. I can't remember what the other ones were though, off the top of my head, but they did say that there's going to be more announced later.
Mate, the Japanese version's getting Rondo of Blood. How amazing is that?
Really
Yes, they're getting Rondo of Blood. Come on,
give it time
Konami.
and then,
Konami,
Yeah.
come on, mate.
yeah, exactly.
It's,
Um,
the game's been translated already. So,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. This was very. It was funny because when I read that Konami had a special announcement. I kind of made a joke and said that they're going to make their own little mini system, but I was expecting it like a Konami mini, but it would have like Castlevania, Contra, all their titles. I wasn't expecting this. This was out of left field. So definitely a welcome announcement. It was met with a mixed reaction because I think people were expecting maybe a new Castlevania or something along those lines, or another Metal Gear. But yeah, awesome. We'll see what it's priced at. They've already confirmed that there's going to be like a multi-tap adapter for it, and I think a couple of other accessories. So.
And
Yeah,
fingers
looking
crossed,
forward
they're
to it.
saying M2 might be doing emulation on it, so
Yeah.
so
if
yeah, it's in good hands.
exactly in good hands. So fingers crossed.
Go listener questions. What do you reckon?
Listener questions, yeah, absolutely. Let's bring up the page. That's how professional we are here. We're advanced. Alrighty. Cool beans. Alright. First one from our good friend Boosty, Paul Barbara, who was a guest on one of our previous shows, asked the question, what game at E3 impressed you the most?
A quick
Daz.
one, quick answer. Dark Crystal. Come on.
Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal. And I'll be honest, what's it called? Link's Awakening. I thought that actually blew my mind.
Yeah, I love the way that looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave?
I'd probably have to go Cyberpunk, I think. I was excited before, I'm more excited now, so that's probably my choice.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was easy. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've already gushed enough about that game, but oh, Jesus Christ, I can't wait. That and Pokemon Sword and Shield. Next one, our good friend, Mr. Peter Bayou. Thoughts on a new Star Wars game? It's the first time in a long while that a decent Star Wars game is coming out with single player only. And also, do you think it was a bit of a letdown that Sony wasn't there? Daz, thoughts on Star Wars?
Star Wars game, what I thought, it looked alright. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But it did look interesting, and I'll probably grab it when it's cheaper. It just comes down to time. I think I'd rather dedicate my time to other games, but this did look fun. It did look good. Yeah.
Thoughts on Sony not being there?
I think there was enough content there to keep me interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Dave, Star Wars, did it catch your interest?
It looked quite nice, actually. Star Wars games are normally not my cup of tea, even though I like the Star Wars franchise. I'll wait and see on that one. And in terms of Sony not being there, probably the one good thing out of that was there was less talk about who had the better conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
They were missed, but it wasn't probably the end of the world, really.
No, definitely not. For me, Star Wars game looks great. It kind of it does actually have a bit of a Souls-like, but now everyone says everything is Souls-like, No, it looks good. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, so it's probably going to be wait and see for me, but if it gets good reviews, I'll definitely be interested in checking it out. In regards to Sony, I think Sony made the right call, and they were proven right to not have gone there, because basically just about everything that Microsoft showed, Sony benefited from it as well, because it's going to be on Sony consoles too. As soon as that Microsoft conference was over, you jumped on the Sony YouTube site and there were all those trailers there waiting to go. So I think they made the right choice. Next one, our good friend Mr. Ben Getley. Thoughts on all of the remaster and remake RPGs coming out of E3, Romancing Saga, Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, Ni no Kuni remaster, the Mana Collection. I personally could have been more pumped, and this E3 was a standout for me as an RPG fanatic. Daz, I'm probably guessing you don't really care.
Nah, look,
it's not your cup of tea.
It's not my tea. I don't think they're shit games, or no way. I mean, but I'm happy for the RPG lovers out there, and I'm glad that I like that a lot of the old stuff is coming back, because I love Final Fantasy VII. I loved it when it came out, but am I going to play the remake? Realistically, no.
Probably not.
No. Realistically, no. Would I like to play it? Yes. But I'm going to be realistic and say, look, no, I probably won't end up playing it. If I buy it, it's look, maybe if it comes out on the PS5 or something like that, we'll see. But yeah, I won't be going out of my way. But it doesn't mean I'm not saying that it's crap, because I think it looks amazing. But I just can't commit to that. My brain doesn't compute with RPGs anymore.
Yeah,
I get bored.
Me. When you know you're going to be in there for the long haul, you kind of get put off before you even start.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Like trying to go to a movie, man. Trying to get me to go to a movie these days is like pulling teeth because like, oh, let's sit there for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna get bored. I'm gonna get fidgety. But then once you dive in, but yeah, no, Daz is very time poor. So yeah, Dave.
Yeah, look, it was a really good E3 for RPGs. And just the variety of RPGs too, so not only ones from yesteryear, but newer ones as well. Final Fantasy VII pretty much stole the show because that looks so good. It's nice to see them making a remake of, or a remaster of 8 as well. I think a lot of people actually see that as their favourite of the series, or one of their favourites.
Yeah.
So that's good to see. Yeah, look, I'll play a few of them. Probably Cyberpunk is my main one, though, at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. Look, for me, I'm with you, Ben. I'm pumped. This has definitely rekindled my love of JRPGs again, especially 7. Seeing what they showed there. I've already pre-ordered the Mana collection on Switch as well, so I'm waiting for that to come out. And I'm actually super pumped for Final Fantasy VIII as well because I actually had to sell my PS1 to pay for my flights to the US as I was halfway through playing 8. So I'm looking forward to kind of giving that another go and hopefully finishing it this time. And for those that don't know, Ben is actually the community manager for I think it's Final Fantasy 14 online here in Australia and New Zealand, and they actually showed the Shadowbringers Shadowbringers trailer. So I can't wait for that. I know he's going to be pumped as hell for that. I've actually just resubbed to Final Fantasy 14 today as well, so can't wait. That's coming out in a couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll see you. I'll see you online sometime, Ben. Last but not least, John Lombardo asks, any idea why Nintendo didn't mention the 2 new Switch models in production?
That's a strange one, I think.
I think they'll. I think, look, it's pretty much confirmed at this point that they're coming. I think they mainly wanted just to focus on the games. We know they're coming. They're probably saving them for something else. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. They did say beforehand that there were not going to be any new announcements for the Switch, like in terms of hardware at E3. So I don't know what they could be possibly holding them off for. Maybe Tokyo Game Show later in the year.
Yeah, when's that though? That's normally not till October.
Well, we're in almost at the end of June.
Yeah, true.
Not that far away. It would be right around the time of just before Pokemon. Maybe a new Switch model to go along with that, because there hasn't been one announced yet. And you would be very surprised if we weren't getting a Pokemon-themed Switch to coincide with the game. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's strange.
It could be, I mean, their audience is a mix of older gamers and young gamers, right?
Yeah.
And maybe announcing something like this might put parents off buying a Switch because they're thinking, oh, another model's coming out soon.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're just holding off. Sure, a lot of us know that it's inevitable, but they probably thought there's not a lot of value to add to announce it now, so they just focus on the games instead.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, that's it.
We're done.
We're done. It's a longer episode than we normally do, but it's E3 is only once per year, so we have to kind of indulge ourselves a little bit. So yeah, with that, we'll say adios to you all. Thank you, Dave, for joining us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No worries. We will definitely have you on again in the near future, no doubt. Daz, where can our listeners also check you out when they're not listening to you and I ramble on about games on this show?
You can find myself and Sean Tags on the Arcade Perfect podcast. So that's on Facebook, and we've got a Facebook account and we've got a Twitter account. So and you can also download via Podbean, where this podcast is also housed, you could say.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah. And
Cool.
thank you for everyone that has listened and supported us. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you do, please, if you can just take a moment of your time, give us a review on iTunes, although I do hear that that's being overhauled soon or something along those lines. But anyway, give us a like. We appreciate it. It helps us get seen. Yeah, and we always thankful for any positive feedback that you can pass on. But otherwise, we will see you in a few weeks for episode 6. And yeah, adios, muchachos.
Adios. It's been madness.
Madness.
Madness. See you
All right,
guys.
guys.
See
Thank
ya.
you. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.